How you guys doing? So I'm Neil, and in this video I'm going to give you guys a brief rundown of how reincarnation works within Gnosticism and how I come to remember it. But not just that, but how I come to remember all of Gnosticism, all of the new theory of everything, what the entire universe is made of, how it all works. How did I come to that realization? But first, let's talk about what reincarnation is, how it works. I wrote down some notes here so I won't forget the key points I want to touch on. And some of those are how does it start? Intelligence, what is intelligence? What role does that play? What role does other planets play, extraterrestrials? How we never go backwards, karma, ghost, the true self, and then how ultimately do we escape reincarnation, or can we even escape reincarnation? So the first thing is how it all starts. So it all starts, we all start as a very primitive-like creature, a creature of maybe rat-like intelligence. That's how it all starts. And so for those that don't know, I'm Neil, and I'm 39 years old now in 2017. Just in case you're watching this, way in the future. Right, so anyway, we all start like of some creature of rat-like intelligence. Some have originated here on planet Earth, some originated on another planet. It doesn't matter what planet you started at, you always start out as a primitive creature. At that point, your true self, what I call the Nam is your true self, the self that remembers all of its lives. It forgets nothing. It remembers every experience it ever has. And what happens is, as you start out as that very unintelligent creature, each time you live and are reincarnated as another form of a creature that is of equal intelligence to that throughout the universe on different planets and so forth. You don't always stay on one planet necessarily. And as you keep reincarnating back as that creature, eventually you evolve. You get so intelligent that you can no longer reincarnate as that particular type of intelligence level. So all those creatures are now X'd out for you. You cannot reincarnate as them. You have to reincarnate as a creature on a planet, be it Earth or another planet, that is more intelligent than that creature. And so in this way, if you look at your entire evolutionary tree, it's kind of like you yourself evolved from a very primitive creature all the way to a now humanoid type creature. You will continue to evolve. You never go backwards. So now that we are humanoid-like intelligences, you will never go backwards and become something like a cow or a donkey. Also, another thing is karma plays no role in your reincarnation process as far as what you reincarnate as. Now, as you get more intelligent, you get more knowledge. As you get more knowledge, you get more power. You start to understand the rules and the nature of reality and how they work, and you can kind of bend them in your favor a little bit and make some decisions maybe on what planet you might reincarnate on, or where on that planet you might reincarnate on. But it takes a very advanced person to be able to do that. Okay, so that's the basic idea first of how it works, that you don't go backwards. And karma, I'll go in another video exactly what karma is. I do go through that in the extensive video of reincarnation. If you want to know the entire model of reincarnation as it is understood, then please go and watch the video on the full-length video of reincarnation. I'll link to that in this video. I will also link to the new theory of everything that I remembered as well, and I'll talk about how I remembered all this in the link below the video. So the next thing is I wanted to talk about was the mini planets thing. So some people always ask this contradiction, like, well, if reincarnation is true and there was this limited amount of souls in the beginning, then how is it that there's so many, and back then there was less people, there's so many people now? So if there was a limited amount of souls back then and there's so many people now, then where did all the new souls come from? Or is there a bunch of zombie people walking around? Well, that is very easily explained in Gnosticism, and that is that there are many different, if you want to call it a soul, many different Nams, true selves, and to understand what a Nam truly is, you have to check out the video on the new theory of everything, what everything is made of, to see how, first off, this form of reincarnation is actually scientifically possible. Now that's something that differentiates it from other forms of reincarnation. Other forms of reincarnation are only spiritual in nature and have no scientific meaning, whereas the reincarnation I'm talking about is driven by natural laws. And because it's driven by natural laws and it's not subject to supernaturalism or to anything that is beyond the natural realm, and you have to, again, understand the natural realm can be very, very bizarre. Just look at digital physics and stuff like that. Again, look at my new theory of everything, and you understand just how bizarre the natural world can get, and how ghosts can be natural phenomena, and they can actually exist, and how you can have life after death in a naturalistic way that doesn't need there to be some sort of divine substance out there. That's another thing that distinguishes, obviously, Gnosticism from all these other forms of I guess, belief systems that teach reincarnation. So the many planets thing, answers all that. So there's always new noms being born, and on different planets, and that's the way it's always been. And so there's always room, and then also spend time in between lives. I explain more about that, about numbers versus ghost world versus this world, and how all that works within the natural frame of the universe in the extended version of what reincarnation is and what it's all about. All right, so that's kind of how it works. So anyway, your actions don't necessarily play a role in how and where you reincarnate, but suffering does, and I go into that in more detail. But this again is just a brief rundown to hopefully kind of get you interested in wanting to know more, and then you'll hopefully click the link below and learn more in the hour and 40-minute long video about reincarnation in its totality. So next is that, I already said we don't go backwards. So obviously there's life after death within Gnosticism. There is a true self that remembers absolutely everything, all your lives, every experience you've ever had. And that's the part that evolves and changes over time and gets more and more intelligent. How do you ultimately escape reincarnation? Well, there's two ways. One, you get so powerful that you can just make yourself become one with the universe again. Or two, you can, and that's basically non-existence. Or two, that you find the second path. And I'll go more in detail if you're curious about what the second path is. The second path is described in the link below for the longer extended version of reincarnation, how it all works. If you find the second path, then you can escape reincarnation. And basically this takes getting so intelligent that you become so knowledgeable, that you become so powerful that the universe itself cannot find a form on any planet for it to reincarnate you into. Then you can enjoy life with your reality machine. If you want to know more about what that is and what Nomverse and how Nomverse works, again, check out the extended version. Okay, so now how did I come to this conclusion? How did I come to this crazy idea? And that was just a brief rundown. Okay, so how did I remember all this? How did all this happen? Well, I've been meditating since I was 11. Like I said, I'm now 39. When I was 11, I just knew how to meditate. I one day woke up, literally one day I just woke up and I just knew how to meditate. I didn't grow up in a family that taught meditation. I didn't grow up in a family that meditated. I didn't grow up in a family that had friends that meditated. I didn't have friends that meditated. In fact, I didn't even know what meditation was. Never heard of it before. Never heard of Buddhism or Hinduism or none of that when I was 11 years old. So I had absolutely no idea what meditation was. All I knew is that when I woke up one day, I knew how to do it. I didn't know the word was called meditation. I just knew how to do this thing. I'll teach how my personal form of meditation works in another video. That way you can hopefully help yourself remember and help yourself start to awaken, and that way you can see reality as it is, for what it is. And everyone should see it for themselves, and it's not something you should believe in, but it's something that you should remember. And so when I was 11, I started having this portal open up, and then I was always afraid to go through it. And it looked kind of like a swirling portal of like light, and it would start to suck me in. I would get scared and I would snap myself out of the meditation. Well, sometime in my mid-20s or so, I decided to just go right through it, no fear at all. Went through it, and my mind felt like it expanded to the size of the universe. And at that moment, I remembered all of my lives. I remembered all of my experiences. I remembered all my in-between lives. I remembered how I found the second path. I remember what the first path is versus the second path. I remembered so much knowledge that I had gained about the universe. And I came back and my beliefs was changed like this. It was so undeniable. And I also came back with the dual awareness. That is that I'm fully aware of what my human consciousness is, and I'm fully aware of what my true self is. And my true self is fully intermingled with this body, and that it's being expressed through this limited body right now, and that develops a type of fragmented self. So the human consciousness is only a fragment of your true self being expressed. Because if your true self were being expressed, you would remember all your lives and everything. Now, when I came back, I only was able to retain certain amounts of that information. I've since gone there and back, trying to gather as much information as I can, as much understanding as I can, as much remembrance of my past lives as I could. A lot of my memories of past lives take place on other planets and so forth. It actually is really great for material for like sci-fi novels and sci-fi screenplays and stuff that I love to write. But anyway, so what was really important to me when I came back was this idea of reincarnation, because I was totally against what I believed at the time. At the time, I was in between sort of a Christian Jewish belief, and reincarnation just wasn't something that I wanted to accept. I kind of felt deep down inside it might be true, but I'm like, nah, it kind of goes against the scriptures and stuff like that. I came back with the knowledge that all that was baloney, that religion was baloney, and that everything is natural. And that blew me away, because I was a full-hearted believer that there was this divine nature to existence and all that. Now, if you hear my full theory of everything, you might say, well, that kind of sounds sort of like divine, but it's not. It is fully naturalistic. People hear that word naturalism, they think, oh, bad, that can't be. Listen, within naturalism, there are ghosts, there are demons, there's life after death, there's extraterrestrials, all this kinds of stuff. In other words, you don't have to believe in God to believe in life after death. It's not necessary. And again, to fully understand that and really appreciate it, you have to watch my new theory of everything and understand how reality works and what it's all made of. So I came back with literally encyclopedia worth of information. And I was only meditating for about 30 minutes. That's what it felt like a lot longer than that, but according to the time on the clock, it was about 30 minutes. And during that time frame, I had gained so much information that if I were to sit here and just talk at the camera like this, at this speed, it would take hours and hours. It would literally take, over 100 hours of talking to get all the information down that I came back with. And that's just the understandings and stuff. That doesn't include snippets and pieces of my life and experiences and different lives that I've lived and so forth. And I was no one special on Earth. In fact, I've only lived on Earth a few times. And one of the times I was just a water boy for that's not actually what I was called. I was the water seeker, and it was of a white nomadic tribe living in the kind of like Swedish Norwegian area. And we just traveled around from place to place. And my only job, when we found a new place to stay, was to find drinkable water. That's it. That was my job. Find a drinkable water source. And so that was just a water seeker. That's it. Nothing special. So I know a lot of these people, when they claim to remember their past lives and stuff, they were Cleopatra, they were this and they were that. And it kind of gives reincarnation a bad name. But anyway, so if you want to learn more about reincarnation, you want to learn more about my new theory of everything, hopefully this video has kind of enticed you a little bit. And both of those links are in the description below. Definitely check them out. If you found this at all interesting and different, just even though it's just a brief snippet of how reincarnation works. It goes into such great detail about the self and how the self is intermingled with the cells themselves and the DNA, and that's how it begins to lose its memory of what it is and begins to develop this fragmented personality called human consciousness. How human consciousness is not actually who you are at all. When you look in the mirror, obviously that's not who you are, but that's just a form that you're interacting with at this particular time. But yeah, so if this is at all piqued your interest, please share this video. It might pique other people's interest. Basically, I just wanted a place to have my information that I came back with and share it all to the world, and that way it's there for people to see. It was easier than having to write it all down, although I could do that as well, and I might end up doing that one day. But yeah, so again, if you like this, click the thumbs up button. That'd be fantastic. Again, if you want to learn more, click on links in the description. Share this video with as many people as possible. Share it on your Facebook, share it on your Google Pluses, wherever you want to share it. Just share it with your communities. Share it wherever you possibly can, because I'm telling you, it's mind blowing. It's absolutely mind baffling what it feels like to awaken, and just get a glimpse, though, even of how the world works. Just that one video alone is so mind-blowing, and the physics that back it up. And so to have a theory of everything that allows for life after death that does not contradict science is absolutely amazing. And it's absolutely sound and logically sound. So anyway, again, I know I'm repeating myself, but I can't appreciate it enough if you guys just share it if you enjoyed it. I'm sure other people enjoyed it as well. So please share it. Don't just click the like button. Take the time and just click that share button and share it with your friends and stuff. I'm sure, like your social media networks, and I'm sure they'll love it too. Don't just assume that no one will like it. Someone out there is going to like it and be interested. And this is going to pique their interest to want to know more about what is Gnosticism. And there's more videos to come. So there's only a few right now, but there's a lot more to come. So stay tuned for all that, and definitely like how to meditate and stuff like that. At least the way that I just remembered how to meditate, and how it helped me tremendously in my life, just absolutely tremendously. And yeah, so that's pretty much it. Thank you for watching. I appreciate it. Until the next video, I'll see you next time.